Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Turned up to work and went to start my day. Was barely late, like 9:08. So took my coffee break. Then I got hungry, so I just stopped by the free buffet. But then to my dismay, I heard somebody say, "Attention, gentlemen, you have lost. You have not met your quota. Pack your belongings in a box. Now it's over." Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. But I'm in management. I work hard every day. I need these benefits, health and 401k. How could they do this shit though? Where will I trade my crypto? I had a second monitor for Twitter. Where will it go? Somebody please stop the bus. I mean, not the fuss, but there's lots of us. And now you say you won't pay me to play ping pong because Optimus. I mean, who employs a damn humanoid? Some new droid for you to exploit, deploy to destroy your human droid. No lunch breaks, great, get a few deployed. Your time is up, human inferior to me. I'll take it from here, you're relieved of your duty. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. It's okay, human, please don't cry. You can always go and become a Twitter thread guy. Make pretty pictures with Midjourney on your new PC. Or make some YouTube videos about ChatGPT. Sucker. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. I mean, I didn't even write this song. I just used ChatGPT because it's way easier. Holy shit. We are so doomed. Robot just stole my job. Robot just stole my job.
All right. I love that part about being a Twitter thread guy. I think that part's special. I kind of feel like that guy, in fact. So today has been a pretty good day. I as you guys know, I like to go through the macro and work my way through Bitcoin, Tesla, all this other stuff. Probably going to start off with Tesla today, which is kind of the thought process behind the video I just played. It's been an awesome day. I'm up a shit ton of money. I have almost 900K in Tesla calls right now. I've sold a little over 2%. Maybe it's getting closer to 3% of my position. So I still got 97 to 98% of it left. And I don't think we're done yet. This chart is stupid. Tesla's up almost 10% right now. Let's pull this shit up. Oh, so... This is just magical. There's so much I could talk about on here. I'm going to show a post in a second that covers some of it. We are right up against the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame, which is kind of it's the change between a bearish market and a bullish market on a really long time frame. It's like the big one that everybody pays attention to, right? And the fact that we're getting ready to cross above it, the fact that we have a fib line right above that, the fact that we have a peak in volume right above that, the fact that we have an almost 3-year downtrend right above it is huge. I think it's very easy for us to go up another 26% in Tesla stock to close the gap that we have way back over here that was formed around July of 2023, a year ago on the daily time frame, and it's a large one. I think that could happen, and it could happen in very short order between now and August 8th, probably a buy the news type thing. And where we go from there, maybe we tread sideways and kind of trend along this and chop back and forth between this range to establish that we are in fact above and in a bullish trend. And I think that would be incredibly bullish. We're up 10% right now before the close at almost 231. I was saying in a post earlier that it would be bullish if we were near 228. And we're not, I can't even tell. Are we above this thing yet? We're real close, man. We are pushing this so hard. If we get above 231, I think we could close above the 200 weekly moving average. That would be a sickly bullish move. I would expect us to stay under it. This is already just so good. This is such a good move. Maybe even if we're bearish at most, we would trend between the 210 and this range for a while before trying to penetrate higher. Again, the time frame where kind of everything coincides is September. So it's still a couple of months out. So could we trend in here? Maybe. I don't care. I have until June 2026 to be well above 330, right? 350, I would still be in the money. And I think it's going to happen way before that. So I think we've got a lot of upside. I think this 26% move that could happen maybe in the next month or two in short order. 26% would probably represent 70% with these calls, which means that I could make, another 700,000 plus in a short amount of time. So I wouldn't hate that. I would take it, and I'll sell a little bit into it. It's all good. Anyway, let's jump in and talk more Tesla here. So again, today I was saying I sold 1% of my Tesla position and bought January 2026 calls. I bought some more PayPal to June 2026 or maybe January. I don't know. Look it up. 2026 calls, and those were my two primary buys. I looked at Square too. I didn't end up buying it, but those were the two big ones. Let me see if there's anything else just on my order status screen that I did. Archie, PayPal, sold SoFi, sold some Tesla. That was it. That was it for today. So those are the big moves. I will update my portfolio on X to reflect those changes. I'm going to try and do that by tomorrow morning because, again, if you don't know this already, I will be out Wednesday at least through Saturday probably. So maybe I make a Sunday video about some of those call options. But we're going to the lake a little early to celebrate. Already kind of talked about this, so I'm going to skip it. Oh, did we lose internet? Son of a bitch. It comes back. So you guys should be back now. How long did you drop? Just like seconds? This fucking fiber connection, it's 5 gig up and down, and it's just pissing me off. I hate inconsistency. There's nothing I can stand worse. Can somebody in chat confirm that we are connected? It looks like it is. So it'd be good to know that. Yes, okay, cool. Thank you. Galley. Galley is a stud. He's an OG from back in the days. If you know what hyperchange is, you know what I'm talking about. So there might be a few 10, 15 second cutouts, guys. It's pissing me off. I'm trying to get it fixed. If I can't get it fixed, I'll have to revert back to my old internet, which was slower, but at least more stable. Christopher, thank you for joining. But yeah, Galley's a stud from back in the day. He said Tesla's other model sales were 21,551 in the quarter, up from 17,000 last quarter. We are on the cusp of an explosion in these numbers as Cybertruck sales ramp. So we know that Cybertruck Foundation Series could go out to January 2025 now. So, which is different than what Elon said, and that shows that we have higher demand. I don't think people are even paying attention to this, but these are high-margin cars, guys. Not to mention the energy stuff. We're going to talk about that in a second. So real quick, Alejandro, this is the guy who does visualstocks.com, this website that everybody loves so much. He said Tesla has significantly more leverage from energy than auto at the moment. Just talking about margins, energy being 24.7%, auto only being 18.5%. That probably maybe even lower because they're buying down loans like I predicted they were going to, right? And it says service margins are only 3.5. Why? Because Elon has said for a long time, service is not a profit center. They just want to help people. And anyway, it says, in fact, 11% of profits last quarter came directly from the energy segment, the mega packs. And Q2, that number could be 20% or more. So I think the big thing to take out of this is that energy is higher margins. As you can see here, it's ramping. Also, I've been saying this for a while, and I think I might even have this in a post that I tagged in here. We're looking at Tesla doing really well off of energy. Why? Because we have legacy running away right now from EVs and just doing hybrids, which means the components within that, the lithium, all the other stuff that goes into the battery management systems is cheaper, and other parts could potentially be cheaper for anything that Tesla ends up having to purchase, right? Mainly the commodities within the battery. So if all of these things are getting cheaper because these other guys are running away, and we know there's hundreds of smaller EV companies in China that are just imploding right now, and that there's 39 larger EV companies in China, and almost all of those are not profitable, especially without government subsidies, right? And then we know at the same time Tesla's really profitable. Like, they're benefiting. So here's my point. They're benefiting either way. If auto sales go down, then that means all these other companies are getting crushed even more along with Tesla, but they'll just be able to sell even more megapacks because they have years of demand. And people want these because they're much cheaper solutions than existing ones with peaker plants that are a waste of energy. And all these energy companies are getting this now. So if auto sales slow down, it doesn't fucking matter. We'll see energy continue to grow. And again, 11% of profits last quarter came from energy. It could be over 20. Maybe it's 22. Why do we know this? Because we know that the sales have went up exponentially. Let me just, I got to scroll way down here. There's so much shit I was posting today. All right, here we go. Here's one. This is a pretty good visual. This shows Tesla's deployed gigawatt hours of energy storage products in Q2. So look at 2023. We've already beat 2023 for Q1, Q2, and Q3. Easily, handedly, almost the entire year in the first fucking 2 quarters of this year. So yes, energy will be a major component going forward. There is so much to talk about with just Tesla alone today. Here's another visual. This gives you some idea. Q2 of 2024, more than doubled the energy generation. What happens next quarter? The quarter after that, the quarter after that. Not to mention that they beat on vehicle deliveries, which is just like icing on the cake, I guess. Anyway, I thought this was cool. Tesla's outselling Swedish native brands. No wonder the unions are shitting their britches. Swedish brands of auto vehicles cannot beat the Tesla Model Y. I think that says a lot. Let me scroll back up here because we got a bunch of stuff we're going to skip. All right. So again, this is one that just happened the other day, but that 163 million in Megapack contract for a new battery in New Zealand. This is a new contract. This just shows how quickly the energy business is growing, right? Here's a really great breakdown. Follow this. I retweeted it earlier, just a little bit ago. It's from AJ. It's a deep dive into the financials for Q2 of what he's kind of expecting and what that performance looks like quarter over quarter, year over year. You could see, I actually probably agree with a decent amount of this, that there's going to be some areas where we see a reduction year over year, but that's okay. This company grows like mad. Focus on the quarter over quarter numbers. And I actually think that we'll probably beat a lot of this. But again, it's nice to kind of have a visual reference of what we think is going to happen. I think AJ did a pretty good job here. Starlink. These Starlink minis are so exciting. I see these everywhere, even with people that don't like EVs, which I love. All right, let me get back up here. Oh, I want this too. So Gally posted, hope these rumors are true about Travis K. This is the previous founder of Uber, leading robotaxi for Tesla. He goes, he's the exactly kind of bold move maker that should be teaming up with Tesla right now. It would be a pièce de résistance to disrupt Uber and bring autonomous ride sharing to the masses. I agree with this. The reason this is mainly a rumor is because Elon Musk started following this guy. And so since he was the former Uber founder, and Elon started to follow him all before Robotaxi Day, you can see why people are interested, right? 264 Tesla Megapacks spotted at Lathrop Megafactory today. This was on June 28th. So again, we're seeing this energy expansion like crazy that nobody was really talking about because we're all focused on robotics and autonomy, right? But there's this part of the business that's growing gangbusters. And we can see them. We can see it growing visually. We can see flyovers. There's people that do drone flyovers multiple times a week, that almost daily. I forget his name, but he goes over the factory, and you can literally see how many megapacks they're pumping out. We know this stuff. This is from Open Sky, just talking about that breakout, which is great. Oh, God, I hate this. Whenever I adjust these, it's like it just goes ape shit and drives me nuts. All right, so we're going to cover a couple of things I did want to talk about, though. I said this was in regard to another post where I was talking about the fact that I think we're readying for a breakout, whether it's over the next month or so, I don't know. I don't care. But I think we're readying for a breakout. I think it's coming sooner. But Martin had posted on here, Willow 501 said, appreciate this, but it's better to have a retrace before upside. It's healthier. Tesla will get to around 230 to 240, then retrace to around 200, possibly a bit below, and then make its way. I would never talk this confidently to anything, Martin, ever. You'll end up being wrong, especially when you're talking about Tesla retracing. So I put, from my decades of experience, when you have this many converging resistances at one point, the chance of breaking out is much higher. Of breaking out much higher is very great. I said also, don't forget that Tesla ran 3,200%, a little over, in 1.5 years. Not too long ago, about 4 years ago, right? It can 4.5 years ago. It can very easily make a fool out of someone who thinks they can time the upside or down, mainly the upside. You need to err on the side of caution and assume that Tesla will make you a fucking idiot and break out higher. That's what I'm trying to say here. And the technicals that I was talking about is the 200 weekly moving average, the fib, the peak volumes, and the 3-year downward trend line, like I was talking about earlier. This thing just looks like it wants to fucking rip. Whether it does it now or it waits a month or two, I don't give a shit. This is from Joseph, Tesla Long Term. It says, why people hate Elon Musk. Oil and gas industry. More EVs equal less gas use. Space industry. More SpaceX rockets equal less income for them. Think of the Boeings. Think of all these companies that tie with space and defense. Palantir and SpaceX are eating their lunch. Legacy auto, obviously, Tesla is killing them. Yep. Military contractors, SpaceX and Starlink and other high-tech threatening positions. Yep. Telecom industry, Starlink, it's going to eat it. Traditional media, X is the future of media. Yep. Banks and financial institutions who've invested heavily in all the things gas, oil, media, legacy autos. Yep. Unions, Tesla doesn't like to get blackmailed by union crooks. So this is just somebody going through a list, not even to mention Neuralink and all this other stuff with the medical community. There's so many things going on. There's a lot of people that hate Elon Musk. There's a reason why you hear negativity around Elon Musk. This is a great representation of why that occurs. I think there's more stuff in here. I don't know, though. I think there's some that are really funny. But I think we covered the bulk of it, unless I could find something really interesting. I think that's good. Again, I was arguing with a few people about Tesla being just a massive AI company, and some people seem to think that Tesla is not an AI company and that their full self-driving isn't going to go anywhere. And I just find that so idiotic. And I think you people are so fucking stupid and just misinformed. It's one of the two, right? Like, you're either just willingly stupid, which I don't have a lot of pity for, or you're just misinformed. You know, maybe low IQ. We could throw. I don't think you're here though if you're low IQ. So we're just gonna say stupid or misinformed. If you think that this company that is building NVIDIA GPU cluster of 50,000 units and one of the biggest fucking graphic card fan setups I've ever seen in my life, is not an AI company, man. Jesus Christ, you're stupid. So I just feel bad for you if you're that dumb or want to be that dumb. I think that's it, though. So that's what I have for Tesla today. And if I called you stupid, I apologize, but you should work on that. All right. Let's talk about macro now. Let's get into the fun stuff, okay? And let me look at comments. I haven't been paying attention. I'm going to look here. MB, thanks, Jesse. I was in Tesla for more than 10 years, sold in 2022, stepped back in beginning this year, and you gave me conviction to increase my position. MB, I am super glad to hear that, man. I hope you made a lot of money, and I hope you continue to make a lot of money. Christopher Brown, I bought Tesla at 150. It's the least I could do, brother. Awesome, man. I think that's going to enrich you greatly. Nigi, NYGGG, whatever your name is. So we made some good money today. Congrats, boys. Yes, we did. BT, saw Gerber today eating a dry bagel and toilet paper stuck to his shoe. That sounds right. Chris Cashman, hi, Jesse. Love your work, mate. Celebrating this in my Tesla DCA strategy is finally back in the green. I hope you're kicking ass, too. I am up $450,000 in 2 days across all my accounts. I have no complaints at all. And I'm glad you're doing good, my friend. Disease Kodak, Jesse, I hit my first 6 figures looking for group. Dude, that is fucking kick ass, man. I'm really happy for you, bro. Almost 5 figure day as well. That's really cool. That's really fucking cool, dude. That's a hell of a milestone. You know what they say, when you get your first milli, it's really easy after that. And it's true. It's really true. It's weird, but the numbers are much easier to climb, especially with the next year that we're going to have. If you own Bitcoin and you own Tesla, you're going to get stupid fucking rich, man. Paul Milligan, up 50K today on Tesla. Love it. And Diseased, love that you're celebrating his win too. That is what we do here. We try and lift people up, and sometimes we call people stupid, but we try and do it in the most respectful way we can. Derek, portfolio up 20K, and I just broke 6 figures today. You guys are fucking awesome. Disease Kodak, I only have 9 calls, lol. Not sure what the scale out of this method, since I can only sell 10% of the time. Do it slow. I actually think we can hit 300 really quick. I've only sold like 2.5% maybe of my position. I've got to run the numbers. I'm going to be, like I said, updating that portfolio here soon. David Y, you convinced me to get Tesla calls and BTC. Thanks for making me soon to be a millionaire. I owe you a steak dinner. That sounds good, man. Let's do it. Disease Kodak, Derek, let's fucking go, brother. I can tell you guys are in good spirits today, and I'm glad to see it. All right, so let me zoom in a little bit here. Oh, too much. So LMI Logistics Manager Index, I haven't even looked at this today. So we're looking at it fresh. We're in expansion territory. I like that. We want to see that logistics managers are looking towards the future and seeing bright skies. So I don't hate that. Redbook is about retail. We were looking at previous 5.3%. And now we're looking at an actual of 5.8, which is good. It means we're ticking higher. We want to see the red book continue to go up. I think this will get a lot better once we lower rates. I think that's going to happen in September, but I thought it was going to happen in March too. So that shows how fucking right I've been on that. And I think I've got reasons for why I think I've been wrong. Again, I think that I just wasn't paying attention to the liquidity that can still be created with short-term treasuries, I think. And then just what's happening in China. I think I was a little bit off on some of that. And just how hard China was going to fall. It was more than I thought they were going to. And I'm a pessimist. So job openings. What did we do with job openings? We had 8.14 million. Actual consensus was 7.9 or 7.91. I think people like this. I think a lot of these job openings are bullshit, but it's closer to the trend. And I think people don't want to see it weaken too much. So I think that helped. Job quits. How are we doing on job quits? We don't have a lot of job quits compared to the historical average. We're kind of near it, maybe if anything a little bit lower. If you go back here to 2014, you can see how this was trending up before COVID. We're kind of under that pace right now. So I would say that means not a lot of people are quitting their jobs. United States Economic Optimism Index had a large increase, which is kind of fascinating, towards the 45. This is still in contraction territory, but again, this kind of looks like a descending broadening wedge, which is a bullish pattern that breaks higher. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us maybe crack 49 and test around 50 towards expansion territory on like what people think about the economy. Anyway, all this shit, pretty good. I'd like to say that I paid attention to Powell's speech. I didn't. I just looked at highlights. It sounded all right. I don't really think it matters now. I do think that the one thing will be when we lower rates, I think we're going to explode higher just because the dynamics are so much different than 2008. So, and the dot-com bubble. And most times in history, I think we're closer to like the mid-late 90s, if anything, before the dot-com bubble. So maybe like 96, 97. I agree with a few people that think that. Mortensen Bach is one of those people. I agree. I align with his thoughts. All right, so we did some macro shit. We're going to look at something else. This is from John Stossel. He's a reporter. He's actually he used to be a reporter, I should say, a long time ago. Good dude, actually. Pretty conservative in nature, so look at it through that lens. But I think he has a lot to say here. Elon posted this. Except he said true, although I think AI and robotics will save us, probably. I agree with that. I'm in alignment with that thesis. I've been saying that for a while. I think that's going to save us at the pace that they're pushing this innovation along with other companies that are trying to do it. So I think these are good things. I think it's going to save us. Also, I would add Bitcoin. Don't forget Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to save us, and a president embracing Bitcoin is going to save us because it's going to enrich people that would have otherwise had to worry about declines in asset value, which will help fund the AI and the robotics and the autonomy and all the stuff that we want to do. But anyway, I digress. Let's listen to John and hear what he has to say.
When America promised to take care of us old people, politicians basically lit a fuse. Now this fuse will happily burn without this exploding, meaning Social Security and Medicare run out of money, as long as there are a lot of you paying into the system and not too many of us taking things out.
Problem is, we old people keep living longer. When Social Security began, most Americans didn't even reach age 65. Social Security was just for the few who did. But today, so many of us live well beyond 65 that there are just not enough of you young people to pay for us. Politicians
Care of us old people.
Most Americans didn't even reach age 65. Social Security was just for the few who did. But today, so many of us live well beyond 65 that there are just not enough of you young people to pay for us. Politicians won't admit that.
Social Security and Medicare are a guarantee.
We hear that from both parties.
As long as I'm president, no one will.
This means that the money printer isn't going to slow down. We have to fund these obligations. We're going to do that with short-term debt. That is not 30-year bonds. That is shorter treasury bill paper from months to years. That's what we're going to fund our debt with because we don't want to have the interest on our debt be the highest line item on our spending. And the best way to fix that is to lower rates and in the process issue shorter dated treasuries so that you don't have really high interest agreements for years and years and years, decades. You don't want that. You don't want a 30-year bond agreeing to pay somebody 5% interest. You don't want that as a government, right? So you want to do that for 6 months. You want to do it for a year. You want to do it for 2 years. And then you want to see that stuff rolling over and going lower because that buys you more time. And you know what politicians love? They love time because it allows them to be able to just keep doing what they're fucking doing. And that's the whole fucking point of this video. Here we go.
Lay a hand on your Medicare or your Social Security.
And the most clueless say,
Social Security today is not on the line going broke.
but it just is.
Social Security reserve funds are going to run out by 2034.
In addition, Medicare will go broke because doctor, drug, and hospital bills keep getting more expensive. Of course they do, because no one has an incentive to save money. Under government's popular health insurance program, everything seems free. So none of us pay attention to costs. So costs keep rising faster than what your payments will cover.
Soon there won't be enough of you young people to keep this from blowing up.
Sooner or later, it will blow up.
Dan Mitchell of the Center for Freedom and Prosperity.
We don't know how fast that fuse burns. Is it going to blow up 2 years from now or 20 years from now?
After a Republican senator proposed small changes that might preserve entitlements, President Biden said this at the State of...
All right, so I won't go through this whole video. It's almost 5 minutes long, but the gist is what I just said. The money printer's going burr. Politics is politics. All these guys need to spend money, buy Bitcoin, realize that we need technology and sound money to save us. That's our lifeboat, guys. That's how we get rich. I'm already rich, getting richer by the day. Almost $500,000 in 48 hours. So, but I would like other people to have that occur in their life too. And there's some people that follow on this channel that are richer than me, and they're doing great off of this financial advice and their own due diligence, because in the end, that's what we do, right? We have to work with each other, learn from each other, and do our own due diligence, because you won't have conviction in shit if you don't understand it. So take the time to learn. If you have questions, look shit up. Pause this video. Listen to other people talk about some of the things or a topic that you have more questions about. Spend a little bit of time. Spend 100 hours this year on your financial education, like real education, not just listening to some little quips thinking about it, right? Like thinking about it, reading things, really getting your mind wrapped around it, and you will serve yourself greatly in your financial future. I can't do everything for you. You got to learn some stuff too. All right, Seth Golden. VIX is hovering at the lows of the post-pandemic cycle. Even the bump for the presidential election isn't pricing VIX challenging 20 level. Unlike most every other election, you didn't know policy implementation of at least one candidate. Can't say that this time. I think he's just reiterating some of the stuff that I'm talking about. We kind of know the money printer go burr, and we've got a pretty good idea of what candidates' positions are. Now, Democratic one might change. I think it's probably likely to change. Anyway, cross-border capital saying, are U.S. sovereign assets getting riskier? Treasury term premia jumped through late June. Should politics now be a factor to watch? It might be. It might be, but I think, I don't know. There's a lot to look at. And maybe this is just a new base. It's going to be higher. It's going to be a little bit riskier. And it's good. We're going to see that roll up, and then we're going to establish a base there. That's kind of my thought. Seth Golden said, FundStrat's Mark Newton sees stocks strong in the first half of July. Newton has cited S&P 5600-ish levels, which is 100 points upside in the near term. I actually kind of agree with that. I don't think that's crazy either compared to what we've heard from Tom Lee. I said before several times that, yes, on this peak volume, we built a base and we're breaking up, and that we're going to get to the .618, and that aligns with the 5600s. So why wouldn't we rush to that level and then maybe chop for a while before going higher? I agree with that. Let me go here. Seth also said, is the last cycle about to reset? The S&P 500 has not outperformed the Russell. That's the small, so the big caps haven't outperformed the small caps for 5 consecutive years since 1994 to 1998, once since 1979. So the S&P has not outperformed the Russell for 5 consecutive years. If 4-3-2-1 pattern plays out, the start of small cap outperformance is afoot into and through 2025. What's so beautiful about this is this aligns with the crypto cycle. It aligns with, the election cycle. It aligns with the global liquidity cycle that we hear about from Cross-Border Capital and Michael Howell, who I admire immensely and will probably be interviewing when he lets me and I reach out to him. But yeah, again, it's just beautiful, and I think that's what's coming. Again, everybody's talking about the 10-year. This is kind of what Michael Howell was talking about in that previous post, that bonds are having their rates go higher, and that we're seeing some weakness there. And I don't think that's going to persist. I think it's a new base, like I said. Ryan Detrick said, FundStrat, maybe not Tom Lee, was on Odd Lots podcast. Oh no, it is Tom Lee. A must listen to, by the way. It is a great one, with the stalwarts and Tracy Alloway, and said S&P 500 to 15K by 2030. I agree with that. I know that sounds crazy. Because we're talking about 5,600, but I think 13K by 2030 is very possible if we don't have a major recession, and I think we won't over the short term unless we have war. And I think war is at least 1 to 2 years out, because I think war with China, to be clear. Because I think they're just not in a position to be able to do it. They need more time. I think the time is only going to hurt their positioning. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I think we're safe for a while. And again, even the threat of war lines up with my general thesis of doing well through the rest of 2024 and into 2025 before global liquidity starts to become a concern, maybe at the beginning of 2026 or at the end of 2025. If it is, we'll constantly have to reevaluate. Ryan Detrick, looking at a lot of charts, and I can't get over this. Disposable incomes and employee compensation are both consistently running greater than inflation. I know this triggers many, but the truth is, this is why we have avoided a recession and will continue to avoid one. Now, what does this mean? This means that people are making more money. The majority of money, there are more people making money than the prices are going up. And here's the thing. If you look here, there's a time where it looked like the prices were to outpace that in June, like 2022, right? The PCE index, the price index, was looking like it was going to break higher and that it was going to actually be worse than employee compensation and worse than disposable personal income. But it didn't. And it started to trend down or to sideways while these continue to rocket up. So all this is saying is that we have a bunch of extra money that we didn't think we'd have. Now, this isn't everybody. The poor, the bottom 1/3, you guys are getting fucked. You guys are getting fucked so hard right now. And I feel bad for you, but that's the way this game works. And it's only going to get worse in the coming years. So if you want a pep talk, I guess we just bounced off this thing here. If you want a pep talk, you're not, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Here we go. I'm trying to. All right, there we go. We'll call that good. If you want a pep talk, you're not getting one. If you're poor, you need to figure out a way to invest and to get assets like Bitcoin and Tesla, or just have fun staying poor, or I should say getting poorer, because that's what's coming for you, okay? So be ignorant if you want to. I don't find ignorance to be bliss in the financial world. Now, there's more to this post, but we're just going to stop it there. There's so many other things to talk about too. Again, I think France is turning more conservative. You got Dan Ives talking about how he thinks it's a 1995 moment, not a 1999 moment before the dot-com bubble. I agree with him. I think we could be at that moment eventually, but maybe it takes at least a year or two, maybe longer. So I think that's it for macro, right? I think that's enough. We're getting bored. I'm getting fucking bored. So we're going to look here at the Fear and Greed Index from CNN. It is a 50, which means we're neutral. I tell you what, if making almost $500,000 in 48 fucking hours is neutral, bring it on. I'll take it. Let's look at the CME Fed Watch tool. After all this, all the Fed talk we've had recently. Oh, did I just fuck it up? Nope, there we go. All right, here we go. So we still have almost a 9% chance for July for a Fed rate cut. If that happened, the markets would be fucking exploding higher. Again, if unemployment isn't bad, markets are going to explode higher. That's how this shit works. September, though, we're seeing an almost 70% chance now of rate cuts, at least 25 bips, if not 50. So that's really good. That's super positive for Tesla. Okay. It's good stuff. Be happy. All right. We're going to jump into the Bitcoin part real quick. Oh, but before we do that, I do want to just glance over here at Tesla and see how inventories are doing. It looks like Model 3 is creeping up. I think that's probably okay. I think that these numbers are still really low. The Model Y dropped so hard. And then these other inventory numbers just really haven't went anywhere for the Model X and the S. And I think so many people are buying Cybertrucks right now. That's okay. All right, Bitcoin. Let's get into it. And then we'll get on to just other thoughts real quickly about the indices and stuff like that. Looking at the heat index. You know what? Let's do that real quick, actually, first, before we do this. Let's look at stock index. How are we doing here? And then we'll look at indices. So NVIDIA took a hit again, but I've kind of been saying for a while that I thought that could happen, that we could see weakness in the chip sector, especially for like NVIDIA, because what a beast, right? You made shit tons of money off of NVIDIA. And I could see that moving into other things, like today, 10.2% into Tesla. Just like yesterday when NVIDIA was down multiples percent and Tesla was up, not double digits, but fucking close enough, 6%, whatever. We're seeing this strength. We're seeing people looking for the next NVIDIA. It's Tesla. Isn't that great? Crypto. Crypto was weak today. You know what wasn't weak? Solana. Solana is the creme de la creme, and Ethereum came in second. So what we're seeing right now, I think, is a breakout in Bitcoin dominance. You know what? We should actually look at this. Let's do this. We're gonna look at this. So this is all fine. I'm happy with what's happening in crypto. I don't care at all. We could continue to trend down a little bit. It doesn't fucking matter. This is so beautiful. This setup is so beautiful. There's nothing to worry about here. But what I wanted to look at actually was Bitcoin dominance. I want to see how that's doing. I don't feel like we look at that enough. So let's just take a look here. I have all kinds of cool charts that I just don't share. But anyway, this is interesting, actually. I'm going to probably redraw this. So Bitcoin dominance was down today, which I love. I actually think this long-term trend needs to be redrawn on the weekly, though, because this was a wick over here, and there's a very clear representation that this is technical resistance up here, whereas before we might not have guessed that. I am going to just adjust this a little bit. So this dominance chart goes back a ways, right? And this chart, this goes back, you can see where this is like 2016, right? Going back to 2014. You can see how this was, and then the 2017 timeframe happened. But look at the dominance. You can really see how altcoins were just birthed at this point, right? Look at this. Look at how much Bitcoin dropped to 35% dominance at one point, with a lot of people rushing into Ethereum and just every other shitcoin you can imagine. Anyway, Bitcoin gets its dominance back, then it trends down, then it goes back up again. 74% dominance. The bears are really where the bear market is really where it gets it all back, and then the bull market happens and it just shoots way fucking down again, down to 39%. But you can see here, it's kind of trending a little bit higher for where the dominance is sitting, and I think that will happen this cycle. But we're hitting this key pressure point here that maybe we're not likely to break through. And if anything, I would argue that this is the moment, right? We see it. We've seen it since going back to 2016. This is the moment where people start to go into shit coins and they rally. And this was the moment here in 2020. And this is the moment right here. It's right now. We've hit this resistance. We're not breaking above it. And so if Bitcoin dominance isn't going up, it's going down. And when it's going down, that means we're going to see altcoins fucking explode. And they might not be doing it in mass right now, but some of the good ones are. The ones like, again, if we go back here, where am I? Where the fuck am I? Where am I? Crypto. There we go. The ones like Solana right now are breaking out, and I love that. This is a high quality investment right here. This is the one that will break. If you want to follow somebody really good on just like fundamental data behind the Solana network, you should be listening to James from Invest Answers on this. He's great. But if we just look here at Solana, it is the closest to wanting to break out. And this looks beautiful. I'm very excited to see what's coming here in the days ahead. And I think we're ready for an altcoin rally. I think we're ready to go from fucking red in altcoins to going up a lot. And I've already got mine locked in because, again, I want long-term capital gains when I sell these bitches a year from now. Maybe a little bit earlier because I've owned them for a long time. I bought them, I think, in like February, January, a lot of it. And then into March before tax time, so that maybe if we're really high, I can sell by that time too. Albert says, Jesse, do you still use that live short data tool? I don't. I just didn't find it to be valuable enough. I do still have the macro, micro, whatever website. I haven't spent a lot of time on it. I did pay like $800 to keep that one for a year. So I'm going to be using more of that. But the other one, I just didn't find enough value, and so I didn't see the point in spending $150 a month or whatever it was. Hey brother, short-term puts on Tesla, strike, would return 5x. I would not short Tesla here. I wouldn't. Not with what we just saw. I mean, what did we do today? Double digits? We are literally like that. Just if you like gambling, then if you're a heavy gambler and you don't care about losing money because you're pretty good at it, then buy puts. But we just closed above the 200 weekly moving average, like I said earlier today. I wanted to get above 231 to start to really make this thing sick. My God, we could go up more tomorrow. That's frightening to me. That's insane to me. I don't know what to say about that, but I wouldn't short this thing. It's like standing in front of a train. And if you go back and you look at the other phases, because I talk about the 4 phases, right? I made a video about this. You should look at it if you have not. I talk about the 4 phases of Tesla's consolidation and how we've had this one here, then we broke out. We had this one here, then we broke out, more than doubled, almost went up 200%. Then we had a really tough time, one of the darkest in Tesla's history, which is why I think we didn't break out higher into phase 3. And then we had this massive phase 3 to phase 4 jump. And I think now we're readying phase 4 breakout. When you look at time frames for this too, how many days it took to break out. 9. If you look here, it's 146 bars, 146 days, 909 days here, 917 days here. We're at 973 days. So we're at one of the longer cycles. So I think there's a really solid fucking chance we go up a lot. Why has Enphase been hit? I don't know. I think Enphase, I don't know if people need these inverters and shit that Enphase offer. My truck is going to be the backup for my house. Who the fuck needs Enphase? I don't know. I just don't know. I think Tesla is going to really be ramping up on energy. Don't get me wrong. Enphase could bounce. They could do all right. Interest rates have crushed them. Just like they should be hurting Tesla, even though Tesla is way more resilient. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not big on Enphase right now. Anyway, so Bitcoin dominance going down. When dominance goes down, altcoins are going to go up. Tesla's going to go up. Don't short any of this shit. Be long this shit. If you want to make a ton of fucking money, be long all this. Otherwise, you're going to get fucked. That's my 2 cents. So yeah, why so much stuff? S&P. There's so much stuff. We already looked at that. Let's go to NASDAQ. How did NASDAQ do? NASDAQ did even better, blowing away the S&P. I said that it was the most bullish of all right now, and that Russell will probably start taking over. Just like altcoins are going to rally, small caps are like the altcoins of stocks, right? So we'll see that happening here soon too. But NASDAQ outperforming, not surprised at all. How did the Russell do today? The Russell barely performed. Again, it's just kind of sitting here consolidating, but I think our time is coming on the Russell. I agree with Seth. I agree with Tom Lee. I agree with a bunch of other really smart people that are smarter than me. Dollar. The dollar chopped down today. We love that. Next, let's see here. Gold. Gold. Does gold ever fucking do anything? No. Oil. Oil retraced a lot from yesterday. So we were at 84.40 at one point. We're down to 83. I like that. This still looks like kind of a bear flag to me where it could roll over. We'll see. I think that's what the price action's indicating. I think that's beneficial to all of us. So I want to see more of that. The MOVE index. Now, again, that bond volatility, not loving it. Not loving the bond volatility. I want to see bond volatility go down. All this means is that we're seeing bonds start to spasm a little bit. We're seeing their rates go up, which means people are kind of selling them. We're becoming a riskier asset, like Michael Howell was talking about earlier. I want to see this break down. Maybe we trend, though, up and over for a little bit before we roll over for our next leg. That's where my money is at. The 2-year bond, here's a great representation. I told you before, I think this thing's in a bear flag. This is a shorter dated treasury. We're seeing banks buy this up, and that increases global liquidity. Generally, like, I don't know, this is a really basic way of saying it. But yes, liquidity is going up because of this. Inversion. And I believe the rate's going to break down, which means more people are buying the shorter term treasuries, like the 2-year, which I love. The inversion, it might be tabling off here. I think it's hitting key resistance. If you look over here from 2005 to 2007, and then also some other areas here, it's just going to be hard. I think it's going to be hard for this to do anything and break out higher. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to. And if we stay uninverted for longer, that's a good sign, I think, for markets, without going into too much detail. The Japanese yen weakens to the dollar. The Chinese yuan weakens to the dollar. The Russian ruble weakens to the dollar. Lots of weakness. But there's other currencies that are remaining strong. Isn't that cool? Let's see how puts and call ratios are doing. So we don't have a lot of puts right now. It's a pretty normal market. I'm not hating that. It means we don't have a lot of short squeeze rocket fuel material, but I still think it's a really good positive. So I'm not worried about this at all. Let's look at other stocks. I'm going to skip the crypto world for now. I covered that a lot yesterday. We'll hit it up for a second. But again, I think altcoins go up. Miners have already had a great run. Maybe they paused for a second. But let's look at PayPal. So PayPal, just fucking trash, right? Just fucking trash. Lost so much. I think I've lost $375,000 with this one, which is kind of a bummer. But whatever. It is what it is. Oh, and if I didn't say this earlier, I completely closed out of my SoFi positioning. I might have it in a couple of other accounts in a small amount, but I closed out all my 2025 calls. I did not buy 2026s. I just don't think they're worth it. Now, I did want to point out that what was previous resistance here for years, has been turning into support over the period of about 5 months. And we had peak volumes down here, and we found it. We're bouncing hard off of it. I think PayPal's time is coming. That's why I bought a bunch with all the SoFi I sold out of, with the little bit of Tesla that I sold. So that's why I bought a bunch of this, and I bought even more so an ARKG. Let's look at that one real quick. So ARKG is a great asymmetric bet. I might just real quickly here. So again, we kind of the same thing here. We've got a trend where we had a high in January of 2021. That is a lot of years ago. That's all of 2021, 2022, 2023, part of 2024. This is years ago. 1,246 days, actually, I'm sorry, 1,274 days to be exact since we saw the high. Now, when you're going back periods of over 3 years, that's a great multiplier to the upside potential. And I am just looking for this thing to do anywhere between, I don't know, like get to 47, basically a 60% increase, to 77, right? That's what I think we can do on this one. And I want to show you kind of what my thoughts are behind that based upon what my allocation size is. This is only one account, and I haven't looked at the other one. But let me just quickly just confirm some of these numbers on where I'm sitting right now, because I know I bought more today, and I don't know if I updated all of this. So I have 1,170 contracts right now, just under this one account. I do have more under another one. For January 2026, $50 strike calls. My average cost basis has dropped a little bit. It's 1.16 right now. So I spent roughly $136,000 on these. Like I said a second ago, I'm looking to have this stock do anywhere from a 60% increase around the 47 range to my high-end target where we'll have key resistance around $75, right? So this is what I was talking about with ARKG, and I've got an ARKG video. I shared it today on X. Take a look at it. But if this happens, so I'm giving myself a while, right? Like I've got a year and a half for this to be able to play out. So let's say that it hits 47, and it does it by March or April of next year. Like markets are rolling, everybody's pretty happy. I would make almost 600% off of a 109% move. So if 5x the underlying asset, that is not bad. If you bought this today yourself, the actual cost would be closer to 85 to 90 cents a contract. It would be lower than my $1.16. So you would get an even better deal. So you would probably have like a 600% or 6x versus the underlying asset if we had that 60% increase, or I'm sorry, 100% rush, roughly whatever it is to that level. So, but if we got anywhere, let's say we got to these other levels on ARKG, where we can hit like maybe the .5 at 60 to 74, right? Like let's say we hit those levels. Let's say we do that even by June or July of next year. Let's say we give it a year, right? So if we hit 60, I would make 1,138% off of 161%, which is a nice, 8x multiplier. Maybe I just roughly got math off my head. Or I could hit 2,300% at 231%, roughly a 10x multiplier of the underlying asset. So I'm saying best case next year, if it takes a year to go up 140%, and this is a speculative fund that could easily do that in my opinion, if global liquidity is expanding. So this is an asymmetric bet for me in a different direction. It's genomics, right? So watch my ARKG video if you're interested in it. But I could get 10x the underlying, and I could make $3.1 million off of 135,000. I think that's a good deal. You do you. This is such a small percentage of my portfolio. It's like 3%, 4 maybe now. I don't know. I got to check the other account, but it's like 4%. So it doesn't mean anything to me, but it can make me $3 million. So this is the kind of stuff I do. This is what I specialize in. Thank you to everybody who hits the like. If you haven't done that yet and you're here, it would be really courteous of you to do that. It lets me know that I should care, and I'll put more effort. The more you guys support me, the more I support you. Even if it's not monetarily, if it's just with likes, that's fine. That helps. That gets new people in front of us, and I love that. But yeah, this is kind of what I'm thinking, right? This is the video I'm going to make probably later in the week when I get back from the 4th and hanging out at the lake. I'll make one that goes over these other plays too. I'll talk about Square. I already covered ArcG, but maybe I'll cover that again. I'll talk about Tesla. I'll talk about SoFi and why I didn't go into that yet. And just like all the other asymmetric opportunities I might see with options. I do believe options are dangerous. I don't love options. Outside of Tesla, it makes up a small percentage of my portfolio. And I'll be selling my Tesla options and I'll be buying more Tesla shares and holding more cash in the future. I'll just be doing it slowly because I think we got a lot of fucking money to make in Tesla. And so let's look real quickly at Tesla. I want to talk to this real quick. So what am I invested in Tesla right now? Well, here's 95% of it, right? So here's 95% of it. I have 177 contracts. I think it's more like 190 something. Well, let's put 190 between both of my accounts just so I can give you like the 98, 99% of what I own. And I bought these at a cost basis of $19.46. They're higher now. They're $48.50, which is up 29% today, which is just fucking stupid, right? It's up 30% almost today. I put roughly $370,000 into these. That sounds about right. I believe, you guys are going to think I'm crazy. Let me just pull up Tesla real quick. You're going to think I'm crazy, but this is the short version of what I think Tesla could do in a short period of time, okay? I just want to show this to you. I think it's important to realize. So I believe conservatively in the next year and a half, Tesla will hit 590 at a new high. I believe that because by that time, a year and a half will have been the previous high would have been 1,334 or 44 days ago, and it's just the PE ratio, everything, all the technicals, all the fundamentals, all the alignment of global liquidity, everything that's going on in China, everything aligns kind of with everything being okay for Tesla over the next year and a half. So I think 600 is not a crazy number, right? I think 600 is doable, and I just want to pop this in here, and I think even higher numbers could happen, but I want to show you how much I make if that happens, okay? So let's just do this. Let's do 600. This thing isn't really refreshing for some reason. Let me, I don't want to have to re-enter all this, but I'm going to do it super fast. I want you guys to see this. This is important. So June 2026, 330 strike is what I'm in. I did that based upon liquidity. I want a lot of liquidity. I'm going to do 192 contracts here. I think that's closer to the truth. I'm going to change the cost basis because mine is cheaper. It is about 1946. And then I'm going to change this down here and put in that 600 number, right? So I want to show you what happens if I'm right and we can at least get to 393 or 600, these in between this fib level, right? Like I think we can do in the next 2 years. And we'll look at those numbers right now. So let's say we get to 394. Let's say we do that in December of 2025. Let's say we do that. We'll just call it 403. We'll make about 400% or $1.5 million. That's what I would make if we hit that level. I think that level is low though. I think that we can actually hit 600. And let's say that we do it by March of 2026. I would make $4.8 million if I held to that level. I never hold to that level. We could actually go higher than that. But here's my plan. My plan is to have roughly $4 to $5 million in Tesla stock that I will convert over from these calls in the next year and a half, maybe 2 years. It depends on how well Tesla's doing. If they're executing really well, I'll sell these slower. If the macro looks a little scarier, I'll probably sell them a little bit more aggressively. I've only done maybe 3% in a little over a week since I bought all these things. So I've got 97% of it. I've got a lot, right? It means I haven't sold much. And so I'm leaning towards, this being really good. But this is some of what I'm expecting for potential. So I'm hoping to have $4 to $5 million if I don't add from Bitcoin related investments outperforming, or PayPal giving me, doing really well, or ArcG giving me $3.5 million. If I don't get even more, ideally I would love to have $10 million worth of Tesla in a little over a year. That would be, I think, fun. But I also want to buy Palantir. I want to buy these other investments that I've been talking about for a while, and maybe get some Anduril, even though it's not publicly traded. Maybe prep for other Tesla companies that are spinning up, right? But anyway, this is my thought process. on kind of what I've been thinking. Sorry, I kind of went off on a hiatus there. Let's look at, we already talked about PayPal. I still think that's a great opportunity. I'll save that one for my options video. But that's a great asymmetric bet too for 2026. So I like that. I like RG maybe more, but I do like PayPal. I think PayPal is going to surprise people. Alex Chris is no joke. Hood, again, just good news. Didn't really do great today, but they've got more merger news like the Pluto stuff. All the things that they're doing I think are really great. I think they're going to roll with Bitcoin. It's very much a Bitcoin proxy. Still 38 to 51% coming soon. SoFi, again, I sold out of almost all this position. I might still have some in other accounts. I shouldn't say all. So there's some dust out there. And by dust, maybe like 20,000 or something. I don't know. But I do think this thing can turn around. I don't like the asymmetric bet, and I think Hood stole some of its thunder. That's my thought there. Square, I do want to make a video on this one. I do think Square is potentially a good value in an asymmetric bet. Maybe not as good as ArcG or PayPal, but I think a good one, a better asymmetric bet for options than I would put towards Hood right now, because Hood already ran so much. Palantir down today to flat. So, again, I made over $450,000 in 2 days. Some people are not making that money, so just remember that. It doesn't always work on your side. There's some days where you don't win. I still think Palantir is a great company. I hope it just struggles for a while, though. I hate to say that because I know people own it and they're like, fuck you, man. But, yeah, I hope it does. Flux, I don't know if I'm going to devote more capital, but again, it's down 86%. And this is this very small cap, only $51 million. I mean, shit, if things keep going the way they're going in, the next 4 or 5 years, I'll have a lot more than that. So, very small cap, in my opinion. But an interesting one. And again, my friend Rex loves that one and talks about it a lot more than I do. So refer to him if you have questions about it. DLO, I still haven't done my due diligence. I will. Eventually. It's less than 1% of my portfolio, though. So it'll come. It'll come, and I'll give some educated thoughts on it. I just don't know that I'm there yet. I really need to understand this market better. I need to get people that are in this market to tell me what they think and if they're worried about this company. So if you're one of those people, please add something in comments. Hit me up on X whenever I'm talking about this. Down 89% from its high back in August or September of 2021. I might add more to this, but again, I think these asymmetric bets with PayPal and ArcG and maybe Square are better opportunities right now to be dollaring into instead of a smaller company that's only $2.4 billion. I might change my mind though. Again, just even without a bunch of due diligence, this chart is stupid, and if this company isn't utterly corrupt, the finances behind it look like they should be doing better than they are. I don't have much to say on the crypto ones. I don't even want to pull up the miners. They're just like, they're doing whatever Bitcoin's doing. I think they actually performed okay. Let's look here. Let's look at this. Miners. And again, this isn't everybody, but it's some. Let's sort them by percentage. So Bitfarms did the worst. CleanSpark did second worst. MicroStrategy's down a little bit, even though it didn't really do well yesterday when miners were doing well. A lot of these others, though, like down 3%. They had such a great day yesterday. This doesn't mean shit. And, yeah, I think miners are in great shape. Now, let me look. Let's start talking through your guys' comments. And I'll try and get caught up with current, too. Rashab says, hey, Jesse, please look at technicals for Bitfarms. Thank you. All right, I didn't want to talk about miners, but since you brought it up, I guess I'll do it. So let me just pull this up here. So down 5.78% on the day. Let's look at C on super charts. What is super charts? Is that a name for an advanced chart? That's an advanced chart now as a super chart. Isn't that pretty? So I got all these fucking things. These need to go. You need to leave. Fuck you. Get out of here. I don't fucking care about you. All right. That says DLO. I think I screwed that up. Let's go over here. I don't want to override that. BITF. Don't want to override my existing ones here. Okay. All right. So, again, I think what's happening here is that we're seeing a strong support at the 200 weekly moving average, which is where you want to be. That's where a fib is at. We need to see a clean break above like the 280s and turning that into support for days, if not weeks. If we can do that, we're going to be sitting really good on this one. I do think the direction for Bitcoin is up. I don't know, maybe it doesn't happen this week or the next couple of weeks. Don't think about days or weeks, guys. Think about longer trends. If we're establishing a base with Bitcoin, which I think we are, I think it's getting ready to rip. Beautiful things are going to happen. Maybe the stock market plays for a while. That does happen. There's a dynamic where the stocks will do good for a while, and then maybe they do too good, and people make too much money over there, and then they're like, oh, I should DCA into some more Bitcoin and some other stuff and start getting into altcoins. I think altcoin season is at our doorstep, so you might see some of that rotation here soon, but remember, these don't all go up at once. Don't chase shit. Act smart. Know what you have. Know what you own. I think Bitfarms, I don't know if that's a great investment, but I think miners are going to go ape shit. So there could be a lot of money going up. Also, are you planning to add a MicroStrategy at these levels? Not really with these asymmetric bets that I have right now for Archie and PayPal, potentially Square, potentially SoFi if they continue to get some pain and maybe the options contracts get better looking. No, I don't think so. Not yet. But if, let's say, Bitcoin does really shitty over the next 2 to 3 weeks and Tesla's on a tear, maybe I add more in those. If I get enough of my other option plays and those asymmetric bets, then let's put more in crypto, man, because we're getting ready to moon. That's my thought over the next year. So that's a part of the game plan. Thoughts on Amazon and Crowd chart. Let's look at Amazon, actually. Amazon has me intrigued, so I do want to see that one. I don't know about Crowd. I did that yesterday. Crowd looks good. It looks like an interesting chart. The PE didn't look too overextended, which is good. And it can do well. It's just I've got all these other asymmetric bets, so I struggle. I struggle to get really excited about these others. Amazon going up. I mean, who knew? These guys are so fucking rich. Let's just look at Amazon as a company, okay? It's a great company. I actually had this as a short idea because of China. It was a stupid fucking idea. AWS is just too strong. And with net incomes of $10.4 billion in a quarter, these guys can live just off of interest. And they consolidate. Look at this. Bonds alone are $12.2 billion, and they're making, what, 4 or 5% off of $12.2 billion. And then they made, $14 billion in a quarter, or 10.4 billion in a quarter. They're so rich. They have $85 billion in cash and bonds and 57 in debt. Now, these guys, there is the potential where if we really think, if it looks like China's falling apart, I do think Amazon is an opportunity again, and I'll bring up my short thesis one more time because these guys got crushed in 2021 and 2022. So you can see what happened, after the pandemic wash in high rates. They got hurt, man. These guys got hurt, and that stock moved accordingly. Look at this, from 187 all the way down to 81. So yes, I do think this has potential for a short opportunity, but it could be a year from now. So I don't care about it right now. And when I look at profit contributions, AWS and North America are such a big part of their profit contribution right now. International is so tiny. So even though, again, there's a lot of stuff that transfers internationally, and if we do see a slowdown that really impacts China, I think Amazon could get crushed from that. So that's on my radar, but it could be a year and a half, 2 years out, right? But yeah, CrowdStrike looks like a nice play. I just don't care about it. EdM. And so if CrowdStrike trades down for a while, let me know, man. If it keeps looking more attractive, I want to know that. EdM, hey Jesse, can you check out PZZA? You rock. All right, buddy, I can do it. Who is PZZA? Papa John's. Not my favorite pizza place, but that's because I'm lazy and I don't like to do things myself. Revenue growth year over year, little low, little weak. Not a lot of growth here, man. 18 PE, one could argue that this could be a single-digit PE with how indebted they are. They have been buying back stock, but I don't know. Let's see what their estimates are. Nothing really exciting here. Let's see what their activity is. They sold a shit ton in Q1 of 2023. I shouldn't say a shit ton. 2,200 shares, if that's the right number. Now let's look at these guys. I never look up pizza places, so I'm going to go ahead and make a copy here. And this is how it works, guys. If you pay and you're a member, you can talk and chat. And then and make sure you like if you haven't already, guys. Please assist me. And not that I need the money, but it helps my ego to feel that people care and that they're spreading the wealth to others. All right. So this company went from 140 all the way down to 45. I feel like you would look at this and be like, oh, there's value there. But I look at this and see the risk of breaking down under 40 and maybe getting to 27. That's my concern, man. And I don't know. I don't know how these guys do in recessions. They look like a really good growing company. Let's see what happened to them in 2008. So they did get crushed eventually. They were at $19 and then they dropped to $6. So this isn't even very recession-proof, cooking pizza at home, evidently. So that sucks. And their company looks like it's in the pain train. That said, their RSI on the monthly time frame is near 31. So maybe there's relief here in the future. But I don't know. The fundamentals of the company don't look interesting to me. Mario says, hey there, Cyber Jesse. Can you look at the financials for MCK, a pharmaceutical product distribution that behaved fairly stable during the pandemic? Yeah, I can look at it. I was going to say, too, today might be a short show, so I'm going to do this one. I might do a few others, but we'll see how far I get here, guys. Let me see. What was that again? To MCK. I know I've talked about this one, so let me just pull it up over here, too. MCK is what? That's not McDonald's, is it? No, McKesson Corporation. You said that. Yeah, okay. Revenue growth 11% year over year. Market cap $76 billion. Forward P of 80 or 18. That's a low number. Lots of share buybacks that have occurred. Estimates are actually pretty good if they're hitting these. It looks pretty good. Institutional ownership had a sharp increase in Q1 of 2024. Not a lot to see from insider activity. Stock-based comp, what is it? It looks like they do yearly some large stock-based comp, but it's really just a minute amount, 0.24% of revenue. So it's nothing. Operating expenses look like a slight trend lower. Again, stocks going down. We're seeing some seasonal free cash flow here. Seems to be Q1 is the really strong one, but really strong this Q1. And we're seeing growing. And so this is medical distribution. Not a really retail followed stock. I mean, it's only 11%. Not a lot of insider in here too, but institutional ownership is high. This isn't a crazy PE of 18. It's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's an asymmetric bet. Let's look over here. Oh, they've done really well. Yeah, so I would have cared more about this at 107 back in 2019, or even just more recently here in the beginning of last year. So a year and a half ago, it was at 332, and now it's at 584. It's a big company. It could run to 900 though. Not the asymmetric bets I love, but not a bad one, man. Not a bad one in my opinion. Jesus Coronado, you are the bomb. Thanks for amazing content. You are welcome, my friend. I hope I provide value. Albert says, hey, Jesse, do you think SoFi is in capitulation phase? It could be. I capitulated, right? So it could be. Retail, a majority of investors, and sentiment is super low. We might be at the bottom. The night's darkest right before. I think that's true. I don't know if it has the asymmetric bet, though, that I want for the call options. And I still had like 60K in them. And I wanted to redeploy that towards 2026s, but since I didn't love the SoFi ones because they were like half the multiplier of ArcG and PayPal, I put them in PayPal and ArcG. But it could be capitulation. It totally could be. That could end up happening, and it could make me look foolish in the end. I'm okay with it. It's all about measured bets, asymmetric bets, and I got other ones that I have a greater confidence. I just think Hood took thunder from SoFi. SoFi had a lot of like, oh, they're working on the tech platform. They're really trying to make the mobile app better, and they're doing all this, and they're matching, and they're getting people on. And I was, pushing for them. I had like, I think 50 referrals or maybe more. I don't even know anymore, but and I think they're a good company, and I do use them, and I've got maybe 15, 20K invested in them, inside of the portfolio on their platform. So I'm trying to use it actively, but Hood just took so much thunder. With the credit card and everything else. Again, I don't know if the credit card is going to be beneficial to them or maybe create more risk in the future, but I do think they have a really positive narrative, and I think that's where the money's going for now. That's why I'm just not interested in SoFi right now, but I could be wrong in the future, and I hope so, because People have been really crushed in that one, and I feel bad, especially if people bought the same kind of options I was buying for 2025, because I lost a lot. I lost over $300,000. So, but I hope people fare better. I hope if you do hold on to it, if you don't see these other asymmetric opportunities that I do and think that they're as good, if you do hold on to it, I hope you're greatly rewarded in the future, because you deserve it. Albert, also congrats on Tesla gains. I regret selling mine at 180, thinking it was about this year that it would suck and roll over. Yeah, dude, it happens. Oh well, bought mainly CLSK with that money, so no regrets. I don't think you'll regret that. That'll do fine. Justin, TEM, Tempest AI chart and financials. Please, one of the most recent companies to announce they are holding BTC on their balance sheet. I love how many fucking companies are saying we've got Bitcoin on our balance sheet. I've said it many times before. This is the year of that. If it's not 2024, it's going to be 2025, where we just see the largest amount, just an exponentially large amount of companies that are willing to take that step, because we have FASB accounting rules in their favor now. And again, even if you're a shitty company, there's something to be said. And I don't know if these guys are shit. They might be. I mean, how new are they? They were falling off a cliff. This is fascinating. Okay, let me see. Oh, let me just bring this back. I gotta see if I can bring this back more. I need to widen this out. Okay, so they're very new. June of 2024 is how long this company's been investable. I don't know why that keeps dropping. Stop. This company is $6 billion. And wow, did they bounce from June of 2024, roughly a week ago, down at the 23 level all the way up to the 36 level. Do we know how much Bitcoin they hold? Do we know? Diagnostic laboratory for sequencing. So they had some good news in the last 5 hours. And then let's just see what other news they have. Trump Media Company and Grindr were among the top. Tempest AI, 3-day recovery rally, still below ICO prices. Bond issuance. SoftBank to raise $1.6 billion through bond issuance for AI investment and debt repayment. How recently did these guys buy Bitcoin? Do you know? And do you know how much they hold? Anyway, it's had a nice bounce. Let me see if there is by chance. I doubt there is, but maybe there's something. They're so new. Let me see if they are in here. Tempest. What is this called? Tempest AI. Of course, it's AI. Okay, it's not in here. But anyway, I don't know. Here's the thing I know. Here's what I can tell you. I need to know more fundamentally about the company. I hate the fact that companies are using AI and Bitcoin to try and boost their market cap. I hate that. I think it's cheesy as fuck and maybe screams that they're not a real company. But I don't know what it means for these guys. Maybe they go up. Maybe they go up a lot. I don't know. All right, guys. I think that's it for now today. I gotta chill. Tomorrow we're heading out to the lake. I want to get in the right mindset. I did want to make sure to leave another video for you guys this week, just because I feel bad that I haven't been doing a bunch of them now that things are getting a little bit better. It just sucks. It sucks. So let me say this. As a new content creator, I had a couple hundred people following me at the beginning of last year. Actually under 100 probably at one point on X. Now I have almost 60,000. I have over 15,000 people subscribe to me on YouTube. And as a content creator, just from really getting involved in that over the last year as being a noob, let me tell you this, especially in the investment world, it sucks when the investments are going against you. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody's retweeting your content. Not that I'm dissing on that, like, people, you guys are awesome. But I'm just saying, though, it's just a fact, right? Like, things become depressing. Losing money sucks. I was down over 25%, almost 30%, I think, from the year earlier where I made 700%. And so it's the time where everybody should be listening to me, because I know I'm right, or at least I believe there's a really high probability that I'm right in the future. And so it sucks because it's the time where you want people to really hone in and learn and grind. But the majority of people will not take that path with you. And so it kind of sucks, and it's harder to create content and stay inspired, especially when you're retired. I don't need to do this, okay? I'm doing this for you guys. and maybe some selfish reasons I want to be important. I don't know. Maybe there's that too. I don't know. It's possible. It's probable. But it becomes hard to do that without really needing the income or any of it, right? So it makes me want to step away after a while, just because you turn into you're a punching bag for people, for assholes, and for people that maybe placed bets that were following some thesis that you had that haven't turned out well, and it sucks. You don't want to see people lose money. And anyway, I think those times, if you're somebody who follows me, and I could be wrong, again, not financial advice, I put my blurb at the bottom for a reason. I do think that you guys that have been here are going to be greatly rewarded. I've made almost $500,000 in 48 hours. I think that there's more stuff like that to come. We're only neutral on a lot of these fear and greed indexes. There's a lot that comes before irrational exuberance. I'm hoping for $4 million in the next 30 days. In total on my investment accounts. I'm hoping for over $6 million before the end of the year, potentially over $10 million. That's what I'm thinking. Just to give you some idea, do your own research, learn. Don't be little bitches. Learn. Don't just count on me. There's a lot of brilliant people. Learn from each other. Learn for yourself. Learn so that you aren't the person having to, get fish from somebody else. Learn to fish for yourself, and then maybe just look towards people like me for an investment opinion and maybe some cool shit, and you will be richly rewarded, I think, in the future. So anyway, I love you guys. I'm here for you. If you could hit the like if you haven't already, it would be greatly appreciated. I do a lot of this. Oh, my bad. Oh, Jesus Christ, what is happening? All this shit is changing on me. Just brutal. Just gonna get a video ready here. I'm gonna have to put so many things up to make sure I don't get demonetized. I'm just trying to get to this one while I'm talking. Jesus. See, what is this? YouTube, what the fuck is this? Why are you resizing my fucking window and moving the play button for a split second? That is bullshit. Anyway, I digress. I'm trying to get back to Tesla here, but I love you guys. I was going to go out cooler than that, but I guess I'm not. I love you guys. I'm here for you. Let's learn together. Let's try and make a ton of fucking money. I think that's going to be happening a lot with Tesla and Bitcoin. And please like and support. Throw in comments, chat with each other, and like the video. Please at least do that to help support me. And we're going to crush it. We're going to make shit tons of money, in my opinion. And I think that's going to be true, but it's just me saying it. So anyway, I'll see you guys at the end of the week. And I look forward to hearing a bunch of you on X talking about how much money you're making. So peace out. Have a great 4th of July. If you live in the States, you are lucky as fuck. Recognize that. Realize all the opportunity that sits in front of us. Don't act like the world's falling apart. It's not. It could, but that's probably not what's going to fucking happen. So look towards the future. Look towards the builders. Look towards the people making the world a better place. Look towards the things that you can invest in to enrich yourself and the world. Do that kind of shit, and you'll feel greatly rewarded, both monetarily and just with your own personal psyche. And think long term. Don't be a little bitch. Don't bail out because you don't understand the shit you're doing. And let's all benefit a lot. And I'm done ranting. Love you guys. See you later. Happy 4th. And if you don't live in the U.S., real quickly, sorry, last rant. If you don't live in the U.S., I'm sorry. And I hope you live in a great place. There are a lot of wonderful countries all around the world. I think people sometimes confuse financial success and military success with what is a great country. And there are a lot of great countries, even the ones that are, enemies of the United States have great people in them. But just recognize this. Capitalism is the future for a while. And AI and robotics are coming from here because we use capitalism to incentivize brilliant people to come to this country to be able to make money beyond their wildest dreams and have their successes in their products and make cool shit. And that's why we win. And that's why we're going to keep winning. So I love you guys and all the countries that you're in. I hope we all head down a great path and create a beautiful world. And just don't count America out. If you think BRICS is the future, you need to watch more videos. Peace out. Bye. Oh, I'm muted. One sec.
Musk's Tesla Inc. is sparking concerns around job security.
This is not financial advice, silly.
Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Turned up to work and went to start my day. Was barely late, like 9:08. So took my coffee break. Then I got hungry, so I just stopped by the free buffet. But then to my dismay, I heard somebody say, "Attention humans, you have lost, you have not met your quota. Pack your belongings in a box, now it's over." Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. But I'm in management. I work hard every day. I need these benefits, health and 401k. How could they do this shit though? Where will I trade my crypto? I had a second monitor for Twitter. Where will it go? Somebody please stop the bus. I mean, not the fuss, but there's lots of us. And now you say you won't pay me to play ping pong because Optimus. I mean, who employs a damn humanoid? Some new droid for you to exploit, deploy to destroy your human droid. No lunch breaks, great, get a few deployed. Your time is up, human inferior to me. I'll take it from here, get relieved of your duty. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. It's okay, human, please don't cry. You can always go and become a Twitter thread guy. Make pretty pictures with Midjourney on your new PC. Or make some YouTube videos about ChatGPT. Sucker. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. Robot just stole my job. I'm there like, oh my god. I blame it on Elon. He's taking all I got. I mean, I didn't even write these songs.